Hello, and welcome back to a new video. This is part 3 of 3, so it's the last part of the English ZiBo mod tutorial. In part 1, I show you how to set up the aircraft to push. Part 2, we pushed, taxied, and take off. And now the last part, we will make a landing and the approach. So, I told you in the last part that there are some things now to do, which I can't explain when taking off because we're flying in Germany and not, for example, in the US, um, according vectors. So, just to get a bit of orientation, in Germany you will get a normal SID, and in the US you often get a vector on on departure, so on departure fly vector or fly heading, and I just want to tell you how to fly vectors, how to do it correctly. So, we'll continue everything. So, what we do, I set 150 and we're at 230. VNAV is on, we're flying with autopilot command B. And now it's getting interesting, because I told you the aircraft is trying to get all of the altitudes and speeds correctly. You will see. So, go with departure and arrival. Arrival runway at Hamburg today is runway 23. And we take RARUP 1 Bravo, no transition. A transition will be given by tower, so by ATC, not by tower. My fault. So, we pass the top of descent, we have to do nothing. Nothing. The aircraft is descending completely by its own, keeping the speed, keeping the correct route, and everything the 737 will make correctly when set up the correct data in your flight management computer. That's pretty cool. So, you see these and these. You can imagine this when flying an ILS. You have a localizer and a glide slope. This is your localizer, this is your glide slope. You will see why. So, aircraft is descending to catch our retard that's going to idle. You see the glide slope is coming in. The aircraft is continuing descent. Now we're at the correct glide slope. We will reach all of our altitudes and speeds correctly. It's perfect. The aircraft is always trying to fly this. It's like an ILS, just of a whole nother route. You can fly a whole route like this, and it's perfectly. The localizer you have to it's not a localizer, it's a route, it's this route, but to get the imagination of the ILS, this is the localizer, this is the glide slope, so it's not a localizer and a glide slope like you will find it on the ILS. So if the route is making a direct turn, this dial moves to right or left, and it will tell the autopilot or tell you that the autopilot is wanting to turn. Pretty cool. So, I told you Mater is direct. A direct can be flown by clicking on the correct waypoint, or if you're getting a waypoint, excuse me, if you're getting a direct to a waypoint which isn't in your route due to traffic or something, you can just type it in. I type VH600 in to just show you. Click here, and then you see this is the route we'll fly then. Hit execute. Aircraft is turning. We're still at the correct route. We're still correct, we're still correct, we're still correct. Everything's perfect. It's perfect. So we have to cross at 136. So we set a level 100. It's below it. The aircraft will descend then down. We can watch the speeds correctly. So we make an auto brake 1 landing with flap 230. Pretty interesting part if you're I always compare it if you're flying Airbus. If you're flying Airbus, you basically always take off with 1 and land with 4. In a 737, you've got way more flap positions where you can do it more precise. You can not say, okay, we're gonna flaps full. You can make some small adjustments like flaps 15, 30 and 40. 30 is standard. In all of the big cities, you always gonna land with flaps 230. Flaps 40 is used on very short runways. For example, in my video where we landed in Santos Dumont. Oh no, sorry, it's a German video, so it may don't interest you. But I done a video in German, of course, and I've flown to Rio Santos Dumont. It's a small airport in Rio, very short runway. There I would use flaps 40. Flaps 15 you basically never use. It's if you got a very long runway, you can use it, but I don't. You can use it when landing in Frankfurt, for example, but I never landed with flaps 15 in Frankfurt. Just take 30. If the runway is, let's say, below 2,000 feet, you can go to 40. What the flaps will do, more flaps, more lift, and you can fly slower. Yeah, may you asking why you don't always take flaps 40 if you can fly slower, it's always good. There you go into maintenance problems, etc, etc. So it's easier just for you to go down with the full position rather than doing a middle position like 30 because of maintenance, and yeah, it's getting pretty deep into the systems, but it isn't important for you. But you're gonna to want to know is your correct position to set. That's important, and that's basically, oh god, what have I done? That's basically always you want to do. Okay, something like this. It's it's a backup system. I don't know. I use it when flying long haul because I just want to look down here and see. I navigate. I don't. It's in normal situations you never want to use it. You can flicker around here. It's it's extremely unimportant. That's why I originally don't want to go too much in detail according this, but when it happened, then I just tell it you don't use it. If your display is failing, you can use it, but that's the only situation. That's the only thing where it is for. Okay, now we do a landing. And now is the point where you will need charts. Normally I do the charts on my iPad in the Navigraph app, but to show it to you, we use it here in the Avi tab. Oh no, I need the night mode. So 111.5 is the ILS frequency. You tune it here. 111.5. When you're using the newer so when you're using the newer display, it's the I can show to you there is something different, and that should be in the systems than the multi-mode receiver exactly. So I normally use this. You have to tell it's an ILS, it's a VOR, or it's a glide slope. So check it, because if you set the ILS frequency as a VOR, it won't work. So logo light can on, wing light can go on. We're at 1, 3, it's okay to go to continuous. Go to the airport map again. And something important is the airport elevation, it's 53. 50 is set, so it's checked. The decision height refer to minimums. We will take 200 because it's standard. Can tune it in here. 253. And here we take the radio with 200. So radio is above ground level, and that's barometric. I use it just as a backup system if barometric or if the radio altitude don't match up correctly. So this is our transition to arrival. No, okay. No. Yeah. So it cannot be correctly loaded. So what you see down here is a turn to the right away from the airport. That is used to get aircraft correctly in approach. You may get a direct, so it's the route, a new route to a new waypoint. For example, approach can tell us TreeJet 123 direct Delta Hotel 675. Then we go to 657, sorry. Then we go to this waypoint and we will arrive earlier. What is then important, you need to descend steeper because your aircraft now is descending to reach the speeds when flying this, not this. And then it's getting interesting. Aircraft is telling you steep descent, put out the speed brakes, turn in the altitude, and just go down. It probably will work. So 10511, we take 5000 now. Aircraft is keeping speeds, altitudes completely by its own correctly. Turn on these ones, we're below 100 soon. Fasten seatbelt is on. Check the recall, you press the 6-pack on the captain's or first officer side, and if it's going to turn off like this, recall is checked. If there is something, recall isn't checked, and there is something not okay. It can be compared to the ecam pages onto the Airbus when there is something blue. So, descent, pressurization, landing altitude set, anti-ice is not required, approach briefing is discussed, IIS altitude bugs are checked and set correctly. 125. Now it's the altitude bugs, not, okay. No, it isn't that, but it is something you have to refer. 228 is our approach course. Approach course is what you will intercept a VOR, for example, a radial. And what about 228, I think, for 23, yeah, exactly, not 282. And you need to set it for the aircraft to get into the localizer in a correct angle with a correct speed. Just set it, correct angle. I always go to 28 and not to 28. And speed is managed by the LNAV, and now you're gonna want to intercept correctly. You see down here 228 isn't anymore red marked with a line, it is white. White tell you, okay, it's correct. And the color isn't red, it's amber, but I had to think about the correct vocab, so I'm sorry. My English is so bad sometimes. What sometimes? My English isn't that good, but I just like doing English videos, and the feedback is that you like it too, because it's just another way to get audience. So we are above our speed, so go with the speed brake. So you can remember, you manually don't go over flight detent. Up is only used when inserting the reverses. The aircraft will go to up itself. Flight detent is the max position for now. So DME comes when we're going closer to the airport, and now you here see that's the transition. We are far, far away from the ILS, and ATC can get everything correctly in approach. So if there is much traffic, for example, that can be managed pretty well when using such transitions. So packs are still auto, on, off. Those on, no light. Restrict fans on and low light. Trim is on, yaw damper is on, no light. Fuel pumps are on, no light. And landing lights are on. Position is on. Anti-collision is on. Wing light is on. Logo is on. Everything is set. Approach attitudes checked, and approach is checked and set. Continue your descent. So you got here down your speeds: flap 1125 knots, 250, 5250, 10, 210, 15, 200, 25190, 30175, and 40 is 126 knots, and always or below. So I want to set flaps 2 is 250 knots, so speed checked, flaps 2. So, and I will do something in approach. See you soon. So now it's getting interesting. I totally explained to make it low visibility. Now I can show you how Autoland is going to work. Now it's getting so interesting. So you see the speed is even more reducing. The ILS shown up here, and we're intercepting. So we're going the warning, it's a standard. We're gonna set the correct QNH on here. Yes, the colors, by the way, just changed completely in the cockpit because I had to turn off Xenviro to get the possibility to set it to foggy or low visibility. So we come in closer to the ILS. ILS is starting at Pisa 3000, set 3000 here. VNF pass, FMS speed, it's checked. So you can watch it from this position. $4,000 or above, that's checked. 3000, aircraft discontinued descent, checked. Red flaps 5. You see our reference speed is in the barber pole because the flaps aren't extended that much. So if we would fly lower, so our ref speed, we would just stall. That's why flaps are so important. If I go up to flaps up, our speed will be here. So our ref speed will be so much lower. That's so dangerous. So always take a look and take aware of your flaps. So 50. Next checklist is landing, but the landing checklist included landing gear down and things like that, so we can't perform it for now. VOR localizer is activated. We see it's getting colored. 3000, there it is. It's checked. Aircraft is trimming. We're about Pisas, activate approach. So you see the single channel, and once we're completely established, we'll turn on autobrake, exactly. Autopilot 1. but we wait until the glide slope comes alive. If we would now turn on the autopilot, so the dual channel, the autopilot just will disengage because we aren't established and it's not possible to fly dual. So on single channel we're descending down, waiting for the glide slope to arrive. When flying ILS, your visibility can be 0 and it's no matter. You can't see anything and you can land because your ILS is that precise it will work. Important then, watch your baro or your radio altitude. If the callout comes minimums, you don't see the runway, you have to make a go around because then it's getting too dangerous. I hope the explained standard low visibility will show me the runway at 250. We will see, we will see. So, it's alive. Pilot 1 single channel will be shown up until a certain altitude. You can watch it. Gonna send. Now you see we're descending even if our altitude bug is up here. We set 5000 for go round. Flaps 25. Getting closer, gear down. Getting even closer. We are above glide slope a bit. Aircraft is descending. 2500 flaps. Oh, that was the wrong button. Flaps going to 30, not the gear is going to up. You will hear an error warning below flaps 15 with not extending your gear. And we're fully established. Now you can tell the controller to jet 123, established ILS, runway 23. Or you just tell him runway 23 and he will clear you to land. So aircraft has to correct to the right. It is the same in all aircrafts. So if you know how to fly or how to watch this in a 737, you will understand it in an A320, in Embraers, in all aircrafts. So approach, and we do the approach. Landing, start with the continuity called checked speed brakes. Armed on lights, speed brakes down, 3 lights, auto brake set, flap screen light, landing lights on. Leading edges, flaps extended. Speed brake is armed. 1500. Can't see the runway until now. Oh dear, this is getting interesting. Nah, no, it's maybe not that interesting. Okay, check. Land 3, cut 3 because of our visibility. Aircraft is continuing. ILS. You can lean back, watch the aircraft. So we're coming to 1000. That's checked. Stabilized. You see the runway. It's perfect. It's so perfect. So now there is the correct. You can turn off the autopilot now if you want. Okay. Okay. You can turn off the autopilot if you want now, but you don't have to. You can continue flying with your autopilot doing the Cat 3 approach. I will do it just to show you the correct way. Approaching 2-3, that's checked. That's calling extras for us. And the runway awareness and avoidance system, it's pretty. Too fast. It's a pretty common thing on modern aircrafts, But there's a bug in the newest version, and if you're on reference speed in ZiBo, it's telling you too fast. You can turn off that dial, so you won't get that warning. I forgot about to save, so yeah.
Unstable.
Don't matter, it's completely wrong. We're stable on the runway. Approaching 300. Approaching minimums. Now watch. There is 250 minimums. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Minimums, continue. Now you see it's blinking in amber. Don't matter. We continue, we continue, we continue, we continue. 50, 40, 30. Aircraft is retarding. Aircraft is flaring. Auto thrust disengage, reverse. So speed brakes up. Reverse normal. Have to do nothing. I'm out of control. Roll out. 80 knots are checked. And we're at 60. 50 and reverses unlocked. Autopilot off. So, and welcome to the beautiful city of Hamburg. 21, 22, 23. Always wait for it. Now you hear the speed brakes as I go up with the throttle, retracting again. It's an automatic system. So I accidentally get into reverse. That wasn't as planned. This is going off. This is going off, 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 on. Low oil pressure, that's okay. Don't wonder if it's on. We go to steady. And as we vacate the runway, it's a bit early, but for this tutorial it's okay. You can turn off your transponder. Now's the correct minute to get your flaps up. Set to off. Taxi over here. Go to the generators. And you are officially landed a 737 in a flight simulator. So, oh my gosh, it's half an hour. My videos are always getting that long. Okay, we now taxi to gate. We will meet at gate again. So here we are. There is gate for Bravo over. Is it for Bravo or is it for? Yeah, it's for Bravo. It's over here. Turn. Okay, we're gonna take these line at the left. It's this one here. It's guiding us. You see these up here. Watch it. Hasn't started. It hasn't started. Oh, go over. Now it has started. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Watch, 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 watch. And advice to stop. You're parked. We inserted already the generator, so just kill the engine like this. Now you see the jetway is connecting. Slowly moving down. And there it is. So IRS can be turned off. Fun fact, turn off one IRS, it works. Fun fact, if you burn both, it won't work, of course. Okay. Fasten seatbelts can turn off, like the crime. Okay, packs off. Isolation valve off. taxi off, anti-collision off, such as the wing and the logo light. Yaw damper off, the window heats can be turned off like the probe heat, the trim air, go into the lower position, hydraulics pumps, fuel pumps, ground power, APU off. Okay, so here you are. When you don't want shut off the aircraft, ground power off and battery off, like this. And then we say Moin aus Hamburg. I wish you a pleasant day. I hope you enjoyed these 3 videos and I hope it helped. I would appreciate if you left feedback down in the comments, even if it's, hey, oh, we're at 5 just for information. Even if the comment is, I have no idea because your tutorial was just so bad. By the way, if you write that, please write why it's so bad so I can do it better in the future. Oh, just some, okay. Yeah, thanks you for watching. Feedback is appreciated, positive and negative. Remember. And I hope we see you next week. Have a pleasant day. Goodbye.